Hey guys,
Hey, what's
we're
up?
here. It's Level Up session 41 featuring Darek, me, and Matthias.
Hey.
Hey
Uh,
guys.
so yeah, we are in a little bit different team today because half of our industry professionals are on the London industry workshop, which is going awesome from what I see from Facebook, and it's too bad that we couldn't really had then an opportunity to go there. I think we can make it next year, hopefully. What do you think, Dark?
Hello.
Hello, you didn't even fucking listen to me, you bastard.
Yeah, I just heard like you were robotic sound, Wojtek. Professional.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, it's because of my awesome French internet connection.
Yeah, I
All
had the
right.
same. I'm not in my place
Yeah,
today, so
yeah.
we hope it won't drop out us during the session. We received plenty of pictures from you guys, and we will try to do a quick tour over them, some quick overpaints on screen, and some tips from us. We also think that Matthias will join us with tip and overpaintings.
Yep.
So yeah, let's start.
Yeah, I think Jonas will be maybe joining later, a little bit later. Have you talked to me, huh?
Yeah, I just messaged him, but he didn't reply. He probably is still, hangover
All
after
right.
after yesterday. So yeah.
All right. All right. So, okay, so what's the deal with today's session? We'll try to do as much overpaints as possible. It doesn't mean there will be. We'll just try to cover as much as possible since we didn't really do that much overpaints lately during the sessions because we were focused on our guests.
Yeah,
Guests and
it's like we have a plenty of stuff from you, so we
yeah.
just thought that it's good time to make up for it, because we had like field schedule and we still have the field schedule for next month, but it's like a gap between the sessions, so we just decided to do like quick tip and quick cover painting session.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that we can start.
Yeah. All right. Who's first? Who wants to do an overpaint first? Huh? Darek? No?
You want me to start?
Yeah, you can start, man.
Okay, just give me a few seconds because I'm opening my
Sure.
Photoshop.
Guys, if you're watching it on YouTube now and it's live, please type in questions into the chat. I will try to pick them up from there. If you have any questions. Yeah, so our Level Up group on Facebook was just freaking blowing up lately. We had 2,000 more members in just a week, which was crazy. So we are really happy to welcome all the new members. You ready, Dark?
Yeah, you can. I have to share my screen.
Yeah, man. You can
I
do
hate.
some overpaintings on your face, man. I mean, I can do them. Oh, I forgot about this feature. Wait. Can I paint on your face?
So you didn't mute it or what? Okay, I can share my screen. I will do like a quick. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, we can
yes,
hear
we
you.
can, but I
I will do
cannot
like
see
I
your
will do
screen.
like a quick tour through the one picture, and then I will give you a voice, and then maybe I'll prepare some picture to make a longer overpaint.
Yeah, sure, man.
Okay.
I
Sure.
actually
Can you?
making one overpaint right now, so
You are
All right,
doing.
awesome. So one word about Matthias. Matthias is our buddy from Poland. He's working professional. I'm posting a link to his work on Facebook right now. So check it out. He's really awesome. He released a couple of Gumroad videos recently on ZBrush, Photoshop, Moto workflow, which is just fucking awesome to experiment with. So give it a go if you like. He was super awesome to join us today to help us a little bit. So we're all Polish here.
Yeah, it's
Polish session.
just full Polish session so far
We're Polish as
today.
well. All right, Matthias, can you see Darek's screen because I cannot?
No, I can see his freezed face.
The free space, yeah. Darek, try resharing,
Okay.
right? Try
Okay, cool.
resharing.
Can you see my screen right now?
Um,
Mm,
No,
Yes.
hands.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay, basically it's the work by...
No, man.
No,
Wait.
you can...
No.
No.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. Maybe try rejoining.
Okay.
Try rejoining. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
Wojtek, maybe let's start and I will get rid of it.
All right, sure. Okay, so I will start with
Okay.
mine. Let me share my screen. Alrighty, so I have a couple of works loaded here today, and this is the first one I picked. So this is this work from Jan Philip Eckert. I hope I pronounced it well. So what I really like about this piece is the color palette, which reads really nicely from far away. But when you get up close, you can see all sorts of weird stuff happening. I like the idea of the shot, like really epic, wide scene of somebody that looked like The Witcher, or maybe I'm just, yeah, is it definitely The Witcher? I don't know, two swords, white hair, maybe. So yeah, I can see plenty of scale issues in the first place. So let me try to point it out. If you guys like are looking at this artwork right now and see any mistakes yourself or any improvements, type them into the chat. Let's make a discussion out from it. Maybe we can really benefit from that. So yeah, first off, like you can see these towers, right? This tower, this tower, this tower. They're kind of same towers, copy pasted into the background. See, the same tower, same perspective. It's kind of weird. See, these perspective lines, they go like that, and this one, they go the same way, which is not correct, because in this case, every tower has different horizon line, which makes it really weird and looks like, the tower was just pasted a couple of times. I get what he was going for, which is a scale, producing like a nice scale, and it's probably correct in terms of like how big are trees considering the length. But that's the first thing. The perspective isn't coherent throughout the picture. So it's a really nice tool that you can use to establish your perspective really easily. And with these type of pictures, it's really easy to skip the perspective part because yeah, just painting mountains and shit, no perspective necessary, right? But actually, it's super important to get those perspective lines established to at least tell where the horizon line is. And here, I think every element, like this, which is foreground, it's like a little bit foreground, middle ground, right? Middle ground and background has different horizon lines, which destroys destroys the believability of this picture. I cannot really sink into that easily. So it's a really nice tool to get your perspective line going really quickly. It's a Carapace. It's a tool made by Epic Games, and you can load in pictures here. It's actually easier to do it with your mouse. So I'll just quickly show you how it works. Just copy. You can download it for free. Just type in Carapace. I think you can find it on our level up resources. Let me copy the picture, paste it, right? And what I can see here is kind of a 2-point perspective because there's no convergence in the vertical lines. So I would tell, all right, we need 2 horizon lines. So what I do, I just click, I just point with my mouse anywhere and just click 1, which gives me 1 vanishing point. So I'm trying to establish this vanishing point. I can with my mouse wheel, I can zoom out and move around. So I can locate this point. And I can introduce the second one by clicking 2. And there you go. There's a second vanishing point that I can place anywhere I want. Let's see some different stuff. There's something weird happening to the horizon line. It's getting tilted, which is actually not the case in this picture. We need flat and totally horizontal horizon line. So by clicking H, you can kind of make it even whenever your mouse is, see? It jumps like that. So yeah, I would say I know our horizon line may be here, a little bit lower, so we get to see, we have a little bit of an upshot, more epic to look for this kind of, in this kind of view, to have the camera a little bit down, see things from below so they appear bigger. And once you're finished, you can just Control A, Control C, copies the picture, copies the perspective lines, and you can just set them to multiply in your document. And right now you can absolutely see what's happening with your space in this picture. And here are the issues with the towers I was talking about. They don't have to be placed in the exact same orientation, right? But it's actually easier to place them like that for the viewer to recognize the perspective a little bit better. I would say that the horizon line has to be even for every element in this picture, but the convergence lines doesn't have to. The tower can be rotated and suddenly has different function point. But let's see here. See, like this. Go like this. If I'm getting this shot right, if I want to make it coherent throughout the picture with this perspective lines, I should get this kind of line here, right? And now, referring to the second tower, see, looking at these lines are giving me something like that, and this line is giving me something like that, which is a little bit different than what we had before, and it actually gives you a feeling of the three-dimensional space. Yeah, so again, scale issues. I think this thing should be bigger. It's more of a foreground. So if the trees here are this big, and I can feel tons of volumetric fog and perspective here, and there's a huge gap, this should be bigger. These trees should be bigger. It should be like at least something like this. And the guy, I think, should be bigger also. And yeah, be careful with that sharpen. I think it's an unsharp mask. Be careful with that. It gets really nasty kind of edges, really glowy, artificial. Be careful with that. Do not over-sharp your pictures unless it's a technique or a tool. I mean, that will be a portfolio piece. Definitely get rid of this really kind of edgy look. What else? Be careful with the very bright white light. Look up how the light behaves when it hits like a castle or like medieval structures. Look up some pictures and see maybe there's something that inspires you in terms of light scenario, and just you can go with that. That light doesn't have to be white. It's actually not that easy to get wide reflection. It should, it's kind of hard. So you can go with maybe more color in your light. So it's not like a white spot. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, be careful with your perspective. There's a really cool video from, let me get it. Come on. From Facebook, help me understand, understand how to create appealing shots and still stay true to the camera angle, to the perspective this evening. So just post the link once I'm done. post a link to our event page so you can look it up. It's called I don't remember. It's from Pensu. Shot design, something like this. You can just search for it. Right, guys. I think I'm done with this one. Not so much painting over, but a little bit of tools that you can use to actually help yourself with scale issues and yeah, you know, actually with these type of shots, really wide proportions, super cinematic. If you want it to be a portfolio, it won't appear bigger on my screen than this, right? The best, actually, I think, the best ratio to actually showcase your work so it appears bigger, actually maybe attract more attention. So maybe to shrink it down a little bit, so it will appear not as just a a stripe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks right now it's like a cool picture, but it's like, you know, you have the build only one side, which is left. But when you zoom it out, you can see like it's quite empty picture, you know. You have still have some, you know, silhouettes of the castle of the mountains, but they're very subtle and they are, you know, just gone when you zoom it out. And as Wojtek said, you can do it like a more consistent composition one, so you can just, you know, pull everything together closer, yeah, like this, and maybe just put some object with, you know, maybe that the tower would be better designed with, you know, some huge monstrous size or dimension of the tower that makes the composition, you know, more consistent and more like a focal point in somewhere. Because on this composition we just I cannot focus on one picture, one place. It's like an empty one. It's like a good picture. It's a good looking picture, but it has definitely has lack of some, you know, composition structure in it.
Yeah, and by the way, to shrink it down like that, preserving important elements, I just selected all and go to edit content aware scale and just so see, like it preserves the human silhouette and kinds of important elements. It works to the point. You can use it to stuff like that.
Yeah, even if it's even if it's covering too much, you know, it makes them more consistent ones. So yeah, it's a content aware scale is quite good tool for a quick, you know, composition changes or fixes. Yeah, and you also take up very important issue, which is sharp or unsharpening the picture, because people are tending to unsharp everything on the picture, and it looks like, you know, it makes the picture kind of flat because you have the shapeness on all of the parts of the picture, but yeah, but you have to, you know, diversify it somehow, like, you know, putting some objects into more, you know, smooth edges, or just even lose some edges in some parts. But if you unsharp everything, it just makes, you know, the one consistent unsharp picture which just looks too flat.
Exactly. And there's one more thing. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So one more thing
with the oh shit. Sorry, man.
There's so much like there's one thing that you can also use if you're working on a big canvases and you're resampling your image down, you're shrinking it down. Take some attention and look up these settings here. You can go with cubic sharper, and it will make your picture a little bit sharper, sometimes unnecessary. It's really nice if you're painting in a really painterly way, so it gets your brush strokes really kind of crispy and sharp. But for example, if I'm doing like photobrush or 3D or something like this in Photoshop, and I'm shrinking down my canvas, I actually like to use big smoother gradients, and it actually gives me much more. It gives me the look that I had in the work that was high res. So it's also a cool way to, you can experiment with that. Just take maybe your old work and just kind of balance it out. It's really subtle, but you know, makes a difference. Right, guys, so who's next?
I can next. I guess I just gathered
All
some
right,
images
switch
to
to
talk a
screen.
little bit about it. So
Ooh, watching some sunrises. What's the tablet we are using? I'm using Intuos 5L, both in work, at work and at home. Yeah, it's pretty big. I could probably switch to that a little bit small tablet right now. Yeah, looks fine. It's hard to. It's not portable enough. Okay. So Darek, you there?
the screen is on mine right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I think that the picture from Diego Conte Peralta will be better to start with, as I'm giving quick tips, because it has very nice climate and mood, but it definitely lack of some lighting effects, which are shot from the light source and are not implemented into the scene in the right way. So let me just show you some. I'm on this shitty laptop right now, so I couldn't even found a good reference. But I will give you a quick idea of what I have on my mind. It's like how the light, how the mountains interact with the light, and how the structure of the mountains are enlightened, because you can see beneath the castle is from the source, but it has no interactions with far. So like if we of the lighting, so I start with a very rough lasso tool that give me some nice shapes of the structure. So
Hello, Darek, you're dropping off. Hello.
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 Darek, you're dropping off a bit. I don't know, maybe it's me, but
Can you see my screen?
yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
just a little bit like, it sounds like Optimus Prime or something sometimes.
I will I will reduce the resolution. Maybe it's just the reason. So basically, I'm just enlightening the mountains to give it like the accurate feeling of the lighting of the light that is hitting the mountains, because I think the lighting on the scene is not consistent. So I'm correcting it very quickly just to give you a rough idea. So it can be something like this with the mountain, and you can easily see that it's a change, because we can easily see that the light is hitting that mountains, right? Wojtek?
Yeah, that was a question?
No,
I thought.
no, I'm just checking if I'm still on, because
Yeah, you're live, man. You're live.
okay.
You're our guest. You're a star.
So now I can also play around with some shadows that the tower is casting on the mountain that are beneath behind the castle. Maybe it's like exaggerated somehow, because the tower wouldn't be that close to the mountain, but I will give you just an idea how to shade the objects. Like you can see on this photo, which is definitely too saturated, but mountains that are in front of them, and they just cast the shadows on. It's like relation between the light and the shadow on the scene. So that's what I want to fix on this picture from Diego. And I also think that the city is like pasted from photo. It has some light on it, but the shapes and the design itself, it doesn't say me it's like a medieval, you know, village or so. I clearly see that there are some modern buildings on it, and it's like a castle. You know, you can do it like, you know, merging the ages, but I think that on this picture you wanted to show like a medieval, you know, big castle. So the better way to depict it would be just create a village of you know, middle century. Yeah.
Ages.
Yeah.
So I'm just, you know, sketching out some quick shapes. It will be very, you know, rough and loosey overpaint, but just to give you an idea of what I have on my mind. I think that the design of the castle would be changed also, because it's like, it's very solid and it looks very, you know, mystic, very epic, but it just too clean for myself. So
I think
I don't know,
the
maybe.
biggest issue is the scale.
Yeah, yeah,
City
definitely.
and the towers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
second thing for me is the symmetry of the and equality of the mountains.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, you can clearly see that there are some windows in here. So look how huge the windows are comparing to these buildings. It just doesn't make sense.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And you know, the design-wise, you know, you could go for something really simple, like something really bold, like, I don't know, Saruman's tower from Lord of the Rings, right? Isengard.
Yeah, it's not a shame to just look around a lot on the reference and just to check how the, you know, the castle from the exact ages looked. It's part of the job. You have to do a lot of research, and if you don't have the, you know, the idea how something looked, how can you even be, you know, aware of how to paint it? You know, you can still somehow improvising, but it's just actually very easy to notice that someone don't have that, you know, clear idea of the design, or, you know. So
I'm just looking for that tutorial I recommended on Norum. I will post it soon. I was just about to find it. I lost it again. God damn it. It was so cool. So good. Oh, alright. What is it? Custom design.
yeah, I'm just repeating the shapes just to diversify somehow, you know, the scale. I can give some very cheap effect of, you know, putting it behind with some, you know, aerial perspective or something like this. And then I have much more freedom to make the city, you know, more uh, important to the scene, and I can give more silhouettes of the houses that are, you know, closer to the viewer.
Yeah, it had the same issue with the towers, right? They were in the correct perspective,
Yeah.
like the piece before. Yeah. See, like, there's a lot of really fundamental issues going with the work that we are getting, which is scale, perspective, and of course you will be mastering it over the years, but you have tons of awesome ideas, and it really shows that there's tons of cool ideas. Right, it's a fucking epic view, fucking epic castle, right? It's all sorts of shit, like small shit and big shit, and like follows and shit. of course, yeah, it's awesome. But sometimes you will benefit more from understanding, for example, trying to recognize where the hell is my horizon line, or actually try to understand like really basic stuff. Like, where's my vanishing point? How many of them do I have? How many do I need? What's the best camera angle to tell my story? You know, this is the stuff that you can actually practice without drawing. You can just look at the photos and try to recognize where's the horizon line, for example, where's the vanishing point, what's the lens. And actually, if you are able to recognize those things easily, you can really correct yourself later during the painting. So it's really useful training that you can give yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we always take up that kind of subject during our session. We have sometimes, you know, the older guests, sometimes the younger, and we talk a lot about the life experience and how much have you seen in your life. It's like it's quite obvious that you don't need to paint only to get, you know, to be on the higher level that you actually you are or currently you are, because there are many of things that needs to be understood to make it, you know, right on the canvas. It's not like you can do only very pretty pictures. In the concept art position, mostly, and mainly, it's all about the idea, all about the understanding of the object, all about, you know, the studying the actual object, or, you know, making it functional or logical to use. It depends on what are you designing or concepting in the time. But yeah, you have to just remember that whatever you see, whatever you experience in your life, it can just help you to understand the principles of, you know, painting and concepting more. So it's not only about, you know, creating the good pictures. It's also it's also about creating logical pictures. So yeah.
Yeah. Right, man. Maybe let's try to keep overpaintings up to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think I'm quite done. I'm just, you know, playing around a bit, and I want to.
Yes, you ready for yours?
Yeah, I think that
Actually,
I can even push it harder, but it doesn't make sense because,
time.
as you know, I can just show you how it looked at the beginning and how it looks like right now. You know, it's like basic stuff we talked about, and we, of course, we could do like, you know, very pretty picture from it. But our goal for that today's session is just to give you an initial idea how can you improve it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go ahead. Maybe Matthias has something for us, or you want to do something for it.
Okay.
Matthias, want to do something or not yet?
Yeah, maybe give me just, I don't know, 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Sure. All right. I'll go. Mine. Yeah. Sure. No worries.
So Wojtek, do you want to jump in and talk a little bit about him?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I shared my screen already. Let's see. This is really cool. I saw it before. I think it was just posted to everyone. Was it this one? I don't know. All right. So King Chao Chen. Oh, I have no idea how to pronounce it. Sorry, but that's the name of the guy who created it. It was posted to Level Up. So what I can see in the thumbnail is pretty sexy stuff. It's really awesome. It looks awesome. Color palette, really strong differentiation between light and color. Clear focal point, right? Maybe not all the items are working to the favor of that focal point, but we can fix that. All right, but let's zoom in. Okay, and now I can see a little bit more issues here. So, but I can see also sexy stuff like these brush strokes, pretty cool. Like they flow, right? These rhythm of the light, really nice. These lines going into the picture, really cool. But and the shape of the horse, yeah, that's really nice. But what I see as well is again the perspective issue. I feel like there are two horizon lines, for foreground and the background elements. So, for example, well, for the horses, I would say my horizon line is somewhere in here, right? For this part. So I shouldn't have seen top of this rock. I shouldn't be able to see it. I should be actually seeing the part actually like almost nothing of that top part. It should have been something, you know, totally. So the horizon line, all this should be lower. I think if you want to, you know, if you want to stay coherent to this horizon line, you may go with, you know, with what you have here, but then you have to adjust these elements and this element as well. So I'll lower the horizon line definitely. Just tick it down a little bit lower so it stays. Or I don't know, try the free perspective tool and try to locate your perspective and try to make it, you know, coherent. Next thing, I'm not sure of this part, what's happening here, but I like this. It really gets my, you know, this kind of fades into this really busy in terms of contrast and brush strokes and colors part. In this part right here. Maybe, just maybe, it would be better if you actually wouldn't have so light spot at the bottom of the picture. I think, you know, there was a little bit too much contrast there, just a little bit. And an idea for this rock has a shape like this, right? And my focal point is this, right? So it's a bit lower. So my idea is to actually make every element in your picture work in favor of this focal point. You did a really good job with deciding, all right, like this shit, this is my focal point. I'm going to stay true to this focal point all the time. I'm going to stick to that. All right, you did it. But then you can use all the elements in your picture to actually make it even more striking, even easier to read. And what I mean by that is you can change the shape of this rock to point directly, you know, into your writers. I don't know, look up Grand Canyon and stuff what's happening on the, you know, with the rocks. It's really inspiring and it's all crazy. You can really get totally crazy with the shapes. It's easy to justify any shape basically. So yeah, and again, scale issues. I think in terms of scale and texture, this rock is too big. It's kind of big. And I think it's because of striations and how you use the texture. It actually looks like the writer should be totally bigger. I don't know. It looks like, yeah, it should be. Like if I will refer to this rock, it should be totally bigger. But then maybe it's easier to just shrink this rock, lower the horizon line, maybe cut the picture a little bit differently. Yeah, and these brushes here, also shape of the overall, how big they are. I don't know, maybe you have to try it out yourself. And see, like this element, I get what you mean. You try to stop the eye because you have really nice rhythm going this way. Try to tell the guy, stop fucking here, stop here. I don't want the eye to go beyond that area. I got it. But putting such a square and boring shape here, it's such a waste of space. Whereas here you're just going meow, super crazy and sexy, and it's all like flowing, super cool. Maybe try using this as well. I don't know. Maybe you can do some clouds, cool cloud shapes here. You know, you will have horizon line a little bit lower, so maybe you will have more space for that. Yeah, great work on the brush strokes and textures and stuff, and colors especially. Good work, man. All right. That's it. Let's move on.
Nice tips, man. I can jump in if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, I finished my overpaint.
Oh, okay, just go ahead.
Right, man.
If you
Sure,
want,
okay,
go
guys.
ahead, because I will have a bit longer talk with the next
Okay.
picture. So.
So, first of all, thanks for inviting me today, and sorry for my English if something is not understandable. I hope that guys help me. So,
Man, don't worry, we are all Polish.
yeah. So my screen is sharing right now.
Yes.
So I choose the work by Matthias Kingekit.
Oh wait. I cannot see your
see
screen.
your screen, man.
Yeah. Maybe try resharing.
Oh, wait a second. Shit. Yeah?
Yeah.
You see my screen?
No.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
So this is the work he done. I think he make a really great job with that one. So I see some potential in it. So first of all, I changed a little bit. I crop it a little bit, and then I will make a painter.
Sexy.
Second. Okay, guys. So first of all, I cut out the child. Then fix some proportion. Paint some balls. Add some saliva to make it.
You stick to the nature, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the reference.
Nature is the best designer.
Yeah, man.
Okay, what's next? I actually cut out the bird too, so. Oh, okay. So I add little bit of light behind the bird to emphasize the. And then add some shadows to make it more readable. Some fog elements and some tints because eyes was a little bit stick out. Little bit of fog, more fog. And okay, so the girl. I think all the elements looks like cardboard. They don't have the good lighting, so I tweak it a little bit. I add some red and greens to her blouse to make it more focal point.
Yeah, it definitely helped that when you added the colors, it just
yeah, because all the mood is in blue hues, so you know those red and saturated are moving eye to the focal point. So yeah, what's next? I changed eyes a little bit, add some cockard or something.
That's the concept
rabbit.
right now.
Yeah, what?
It's just a conceptual mind because you are adding the object that make it better, and you are thinking about the objects to make more real and more convincing. So that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Some shadows. What's next? Yeah, that's probably everything. Some little tweaks with levels, saturation, sharpness to even more make it focal point with this girl. And the last trick I use it recently is color lookup. It's really cool filter. You can find it here. it bumps a little bit saturation, but in this weird, interesting way. So I use some of them here, so we can see the difference with without. It adds some weird reds and
Nice.
yeah.
Can you switch your overpaint on and off so we can see the overall? Yeah.
So yeah, this is the original, and this is overpainted.
Yeah, man.
And I add a little logo to make a story for this.
All right. So,
that was the best overpaint, man.
welcome to Holy Bastards team.
Okay, so that's it.
Man. Yeah, man, thank you. It looks great. Yeah, I love the logo. Yeah, all right, Darek, your turn.
Yep.
Switching to your screen. Yeah, if you're interested in Matthias' work, I posted his Facebook profile on our event page, so you can check it out.
Yep. Oh, sorry. So can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
It's again the work by Diego Conte Peralta. Here we met again. I don't know why I chose his works again, but I really found it quite cool to make overpaint on it. So it's another version of his castle piece, I guess, and it's quite easy climate to make very epic and very consistent and scaly composition. So let me fix it, because this tower just make the picture separate, because you see a beautiful beautiful background with all the cloud structures and all that fog around. It makes very moody climate and kind of rainy and overcast. But this tower just don't fit into the scene with in terms of lighting, in terms of the value, in terms of colors. So I can use it, but I will definitely cut it and try to draw in some parts of of the sky on it, and then we will see what can we do next to make it better, because I have the idea in my mind already. So let me fix it quickly. I will just make the mountain structure a bit more dramatic, because that kind of pictures are has a lot of potential in terms of making it dramatic look like like you are watching some movie or so. So basically I'm doing some
It's really funny because sometimes what I can see in beginners' work is they're not pushing it enough, right? You have to feel what's cool. I mean, what you want to show, and maybe multiply it 10 times. For the things we are doing, it's really cool, because watch some movies, look up nature, and look up, if you are looking for a cool mountain, just instead of typing a mountain, type in an epic mountain, and suddenly you will start finding some images, and maybe, just maybe, you will find some crazy shit you wouldn't even thought about, and actually looking up new things and researching before you actually start working, so you know what nature actually did before you, which is probably 10 times more epic than I don't know, anything else you could come up with. You can start off with something, that cool in the first place.
Yeah.
It's just pushing it. It's just pushing it to the point where it's actually it may be something that you haven't seen before, which is quite important, because we tend to see same shit over and over again. And Mr. Darek is doing a great job with it right now. I love these greens, man. I love the color palette. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's very good to cut out the colors and to make some more, you know, diversion in the color palette. Yeah, but as I told you, you can just make this kind of shots has a lot of potential to make it very monumental, very, you know, strong. So I'm just you just don't need to show all of the, you know, silhouette of the castle. It can be kind of mysterious to the viewer if it's not shown, you know, quietly. It's like you just have some parts behind the fog, or, you know, they are hidden somewhere. So yeah, it's cool to make some story of it also. Just, you know, just by the effects of the nature, you know, of the you know, of the things that are creating the mood on the picture.
Darek, I think this painting needs a horse.
Yeah, yeah. It's perfect composition for that kind of things.
It's always a good time to add a horse to your painting.
Just playing with some more curves. Maybe I will make a bit different design. It's like, you know, very rough, but just to outline it somehow. There are some towers, some pinnacles that make the design more, you know, dramatic, more convincing, I guess, also. It will be very loosey, but, you know, you can give more pinnacles. It already gives, you know, some more scale effects, you know, just epicness. Maybe it's too much right now, but
It's never enough.
we can always just remove it. It's all about the lasso tool and the right values on the synth. And I think that maybe we can just make more dramatic lighting on it, because it's, of course, it's overcast on all the picture, but you can just make some hint of the light that maybe some people are going there, or as Wojtek said, some maybe horse driver, you know, in this place, just to make a quick hint that it will be our focal, and it just says a little bit more about the story of the picture. So maybe I will play around with the brightness a little bit yet, and on the mask I can just remove the place that I want to enlight. with this. And of course I will add some light snopes. Yeah. And that could be some rider on the horse or not. Hello guys, I'm alone.
Yes, you are.
I'm only with my horse. I'm crossing my kingdom. Anyone is here? Okay, I'm just going there. So.
Yeah, man. Come to Papa.
Come to Papa. He's going there with his horse.
Yeah.
Hello.
Wait at me.
So I will just make a bit more, enlightenment on this these characters, and it just, shows the focal point of the scene. So of course I just didn't point out the right color, but it's just a hint that something is going on. So wait. Some cheap effects. The light snope are, definitely good to make a more dramatic look of the picture. Maybe too much right now, but yeah, I think it's quite done, because I wanted to give you the initial idea of how have you had it before and how can you improve it in the in the further parts. So yeah, it's my just opinion. It's beautiful in terms of colors, in terms of the climate, but you have to think a bit more about the actual concept of the scene, the actual lighting that can be, I bet you based on the reference, it's of course good, but you can just still manipulate the lighting on the scene, not quietly copy it from the photo. You just have to analyze the reference, and then you can just manipulate it on your own. So yeah, that's my 2 words. Jumping into you guys.
Alrighty, man. Great tips. Great tips. And the horse.
Cool.
Freaking awesome, man. Right. So
who is next?
I can do more. Alright, it's working. So it's a work of Tom Kolbeek. And in this case, Tom had issues with the background. Like I like the design of the knight. It's really inventive. It's really cool. Like all the stuff happening here, the platings. I think it's really thought out. Well. Maybe this is a little bit clumsy, but yeah, that's the job done. It's really cool. Like the helmet design. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like this. It's really cool. Yeah, but Tom has been struggling with the background and was thinking, how can he actually make the character pop out more? So basically, what we need to change here, I think, is a light scenario. Because right now, what is happening, the light, where is the light coming from? That's the question. The shadow implies that it's getting into the scene from here, somehow, like this, right? So the shadow is going like that. But then, on the armor, I have the specular highlights suggesting that the light is coming from that kind of a direction. And then I have a really bright backlight here, right? So it's really hard to get a strong contrast with that kind of scenario. And then, again, we have this spot which suggests that there's a top light and there are some, I don't know, tree branches or some ruins that covers it. So it's a patch. So I would go with that. I would go, this is a really nice idea to get like a really nice spotlight going straight down. So I think it's a good scenario to actually go with this piece in terms of light. I think there will be tons of overpainting needed to actually get it done. So first up, I would make the background dark for now. Just for now, make it dark. See what happens. And then I would try dimming down this light source I have on my night. Just making it flat so I can actually relit it. Then I can actually put something darker, because if we'll have light coming from above, we will definitely need something dark to counterpart it, right? Something dark around them. So I was thinking, I don't know, maybe some drapery, or if it's, you know, you can put anything there. It's just quicker to do it this way. And right now we have a really strong shade behind it that is getting you into the scene as well. It's not the proper color, it's just shade. So then you can start painting it over. Maybe like introduce a gradient, something to light color, maybe set it to linear dodge, and see what you can do with this. It's way too much. And you're suggesting that there's light coming from the top. Right? There's light coming from the top. So it lets this in this way. You should get rid of this shadow and try to relit this scene so it reads more. Pick one spot that you want focal point to be. For example, a helmet area. So you get the most contrast. For example, here, right? So just make it read in the thumbnail. You know, I also find it useful. I think the perspective isn't correct in here. Let's try to grab this. What I also find really useful when I'm working, and I'm really into my work, I'm like trying to get little tiny shit done. It's really like just Control freaking Shift C, because I'm spacing to new document. And then just look at it. Just paint over. Doesn't cost anything. You're in freaking Photoshop, right? It's not how you paint. You can do anything. You can paint over. You can doesn't work. Doesn't work. Maybe take the floor. Change the perspective of the floor. So it's actually more standing up some kind of a ground. Try a lot of things. Change the. Yeah, I'm probably more issues here than I'm repairing, but yeah, basically I wanted to give you an idea of what is it? How you can actually take a step back and don't be scared to play around with it. So these are a couple of fixes I would apply. Make it work in the thumbnail so you like it like this. Right? Nobody will ever see your image bigger than, I don't know, this before clicking on it. ArtStation, DeviantArt, Facebook. Actually, on Facebook it's the easiest to view it bigger, but you know, has to be awesome this big. It has to be fucking awesome. And people have to go like, oh shit, it's like, it feels like this and like this and like this. And if you want to create contrast, it's like with a conflict in terms of plot and screenwriting. If it doesn't create a conflict in terms of light and shadow, there's no interest. Contrast gives you interest. It creates differentiation, variety, so it gets attention. So yeah, you have to try creating nice contrast. And actually, this is a purely, it's really abstract. It's purely abstract. So you can play around with like tiny shapes, try creating nice contrasts. and then maybe blow it up into like a full illustration, but try sticking to the sketch. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, and keep that nice armor design. It's really awesome. Yeah, maybe flesh it out a little bit more. Introduce some couple of hard edges, and stay true to the light scenario you pick from the beginning. If you feel like you are going somewhere else with it, just don't be scared. You're in Photoshop, copy paste it, paint on it in a different document, flip your canvas horizontally, freaking vertically. What the hell is happening? Abstractly. What shapes do I see? Right? Yeah, it's something like that, you know. Sometimes I'm working on my images for a week, 2 weeks. I cannot see anything in there at all. So you have to sometimes flip the canvas vertically. Is it interesting? Does it create contrast? Is it interesting to me to look at it? Yeah. So, couple tricks. That's it, guys. Sorry, I'm not doing pre-overpaint. I'm just trying to, you know, get the point across. Because you know, if I want to create a nice picture, I wouldn't.
Can you zoom it a little bit in? Zoom in?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, but that's not the point. That's not the point, actually.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it because I haven't seen it before. Yeah, it's like a huge change.
No, you know, it's not about this effect you get. It's more about the stuff I said. It's about, you know, the mindset.
Yeah, but it looked good in the thumbnail and in the same when you zoom in, so it's cool.
I like the thumbnail as well, but you know, I like the thumbnail here. Like, it's kind of cool. Yeah, you can do some things with it, but maybe make it more coherent. And I just look for ways to create the most contrast possible in my pieces. So this is only my personal taste. You can go and do different things, but you can apply the rule, which is
it's a matter of taste, actually.
Yeah, that's true. It's a matter of taste, but still, if you want to create contrast, you don't get interest. If you know all these rules, you can break them. Of course, you can create really moody images without contrast. Of course, but you have to know the rules before you break them. That's my opinion. So, yeah, who's next?
Yeah, good job.
Actually, I need to go, guys. So
you need to go, guys.
Thanks for inviting me today, and I will post the PSD. With
sure, man. It was awesome. Awesome. Bracers.com.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Freaking awesome, man. Right. See you, man.
See you guys.
Thanks, man, for joining. Yeah, bye.
Sure, no problem.
Hey, man.
Anytime.
All right, so I think that you can just jump in on my screen, Wojtek.
Yep.
Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes. It's a work by, I don't know, I can pronounce it, but it's Taglian Goksoi.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Sorry for if I pronounce it in the bad way. Anyway, this picture just gave me a cool idea of what can you do with the lighting on this one. I don't want to do a self-promotion on this one, but I will show you some of the picture I did a while ago with some kind of this one. It has some kind of the same lighting. Jesus, come on, this connection is so slow. When you zoom it out, you can see it's like the light is so strong. It just, you know, the lighting is absorbed on the silhouette, but from the side that we cannot see, we are reaching the light like we are standing beneath the soldier, and we are looking exactly in the center of light effect, and it just gives us the effect that all of the values are darker, you know, and makes only the kind of curvy lighting or, you know, rim lights on some parts of the picture. And we can do the same with this one because it's kind of warfare picture with some Viking or so. But I thought it could be definitely changed. So don't get me wrong if I change it too much. But I think this kind of scenes needs very epical, shot. So basically, I will get the design from that guy. Let me remove it. Can you hear me, Wojtek?
Yeah.
Cool. I will just quickly cut it. I will try to leave the vertical composition on this one, just to make some changes with the background to make it more, consistent, structured, whatever you say you call it. Maybe some mountains in the background, and then
Hello. Great. Darek's gone. Let me get back to him, hopefully. I can make him back. Darek. Alright guys, there are only 2 of us today. The industry workshop continues. So let's wait a couple of seconds more. Maybe we'll be back. If not, I will do my overpaint. Yeah, I think he's on the run right now. He's talking right. Maybe without further ado, let's get straight into this one. I think Dark will be joining soon. Yeah, he will get the point. Alright. So, Josh Hutchinson. Right. So, this is work by him. We saw some kind of a robot design, and he was struggling with the design. And so I would say, in here, what's my workflow and personal taste for doing like this type of things, or actually photo batch, but it's way more easier for me to get going from the shapes from the photos first. But actually, what I think is not working with this piece for now is the shape design and the cropping mostly. So first, to come up with a cool design, you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Basically, what the hell is it? Is it a police robot? Is it some kind of a servant robot? Is it future? Is it super future? Or is it a near future? Is it, what's the purpose of this, right? And then you can first ask yourself questions about functionality, about purpose, about what the hell do you want it to be? Because this looks like a concept art shot. It focuses on the design of this guy. So you have to know yourself what the hell you're creating. So ask yourself questions. You can experiment. You can do stuff like, okay, I want to do just a cool thing. All right, it's really cool to experiment, of course. But if you don't have a strong foundation, most likely you won't come up with any innovative ideas. You have to have a visual library, knowledge about the world. You have to constantly observe to get that visual library going. So first I would ask myself questions. What is this? Yeah, so I told about them. Then, let's say, okay, it's a police robot, for example, and it arrives on the crime scene and it gathers evidence. All right, maybe it's better than human, so maybe you can have some cool scanning devices, and it doesn't have to be armed. It may be just, for scanning and research purposes to get fingerprints, get something like this. All right, so I have my questions answered. I don't know, write them down or something, or just keep them in your head, and then do the research. Look up how detective looks like. Look up how maybe there are some robots like that already. Of course, not that advanced, but maybe. And save the images to the folder. Just get as much inspiration as possible. You can diversify your inspirations throughout the whole internet. You can just refer to anything you want that works, from questions to research, that it supports your idea in the first place. So this design can be actually, when you will look at it, you will actually tell the story with your visuals, so it will be clear for your viewer to see. Hey, Darek.
At what moment it just?
Oh man, it was like freaking 5 minutes ago. So let me finish, and we'll switch to your screen again, all right?
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. So you have to gather from the visuals that are recognizable for most humans. You cannot just take your inspiration from the void and make the most alien thing possible. So you have to, in your design, incorporate hints of what's already existing, make things a little bit similar to the things that you want to tell the story about. So your design will be taken to the world that you want it to be. So yeah, first questions, then research, and then design. I would take that kind of workflow. And by design, I mean there are a couple of approaches. I don't know, maybe you found some cool shapes for that, or you can start with shapes. You can just, alright, so this guy cannot have, like, it's not armored that much, it doesn't need that much plates and shit, maybe it just needs a tiny skin or something. So coming up to most basic stuff, just figure it out with shapes. Look up, I don't know, scanning devices. What's the shape of scanning device? We humans are really, I don't know, fluent with recognizing shapes. So actually, maybe look up shapes and try to make it similar, but a little bit different than, I don't know, scanning device, police robot prototype that humans are already familiar with, or something else. So it actually maybe look like a, I don't know, his head looked like a camera, surveillance camera. I don't know, a couple of ideas, and then the execution part may be least important in this case, because it's only detailing, filling it out, and I don't know, bashing some photos together using 3D. So this is actually concepting. It's not. It's thinking this shit out from the beginning. It's making the question to the visual, like the answer for these questions, visual. It's not bashing shit together. Yeah, cool. Yeah, sometimes it works this way, but you have to be really, really lucky to get your sketch approved this way. Because, okay, if you're doing an illustration, that's cool. You can go with whatever looks awesome, right? But sometimes you get 20 pages of brief. You have to follow that. What then? You have to create very specific stuff that answer questions that are in that brief. You have to be able to adapt. So if you will take this workflow a little bit further, yeah, I think it will be much better. So maybe less focus on the technique, more on the design. I mean, in terms of technique, the rendering isn't that great, but it's there. So I think you can, maybe extend the cropping so it's more, clear what we are looking at, something like that. So we get to see second limb or something. And again, it goes back to the design. Maybe there's an important, his second limb is like scanner or I don't know, something that you came up with earlier, so you can showcase like a cool functional element. Yeah, that's it. That's just a couple of ideas to implement. To Darek, getting back to you.
Yeah, can you see my screen right now, Wojtek?
Yeah, works fine.
Okay, so let me just continue from the stage that I finished. Jesus, I hate dropping out. All right, so let's put myself together again. And I just built up a very, initial background for the scene. As I told you before, I wanted to make a kind of dramatic shot. This is kind of gory scene with tons of equipment throwing around, with tons of blood. It's showing definitely somehow, some kind of the warfare battlefield with the soldier who is standing there, and he's hurt from the arrows that are in his parts of the body. And I wanted to make some kind of the scene with with a 3-point perspective that is seen from beneath of the soldier. Let's just imagine that you are kind of film director, and you are moving camera from different angles, and you want to catch up the right angle to show the most dramatic look, the most convincing one. You can either use it from from the top of the battlefield, or you just can put the camera between the bodies, between the equipment, and it's showing the the shot from the beneath. And I wanted to create something like a three-dimensional 3-point perspective once again. And I think I can use also the same kind of the static pose, but if it's seen from that position, it definitely will show you more emotions, more dramatic look. It makes you the picture more epic, more convincing in terms of the warfare and in terms of the climate and the mood. It's the same with the client work. If you show him, if you show your clients very static pose, very very basic, very basic shot, it just can be like, okay, it's okay, but it could be better. It could be something more special. So what I usually do, I'm trying to work around and play around with different angles, and maybe shoot from three different cameras, and send it to the client so he can have a choice. So this is particularly how I think, how I convey that kind of the scene, that if I have the description, if I have the story of the picture, it still can be the same kind of the post, but if it's seen from much different angle, you can easily see, you can easily show that someone's hand in here, like with that is like a dead body or something, and it definitely will make the picture more dramatic from the camera shot, because I can still show a lot of gory effects, like like a torn apart the body parts, like a lot of blood in here and here. But if it's that kind of the shot, it makes the scene much more emotional. So let's try to think also about the camera angles and the setting of your composition, because sometimes is the key. Look from the from far. What's the more more interesting for yourself? That usual shot from the guy that in very low horizon perspective, or something more dramatic where the camera is tilted back and show the soldier from beneath, and you can see a very dramatic and powerful lighting on the sky. You can also play around with the clouds. I'm still here. Okay, we are with the clouds, by doing some dramatic dramatic shapes and values to make it very strong composition. So that's what I usually do. I play around with different angles. I'm just trying to be like a director. I'm just trying to set my own camera. You can also do a quick setup in 3D. You just have a lot of more options to just rotate the camera to show the the workplace, the actual field of the scene. But you can also sketch it out like I did, and it has the same story, but from the different angle, and I think from the more dramatic angle. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about that. Don't forget about the composition. If you have very good picture, very net, very nice looking, and very detailed, but if it has better composition, it's definitely hit. So yeah, don't forget about the right composition, just to play with emotions of the viewer, of your client, of whoever is watching your work.
Exactly. It comes down to that basic understanding of shape language, and the most basic stuff.
Yeah,
You can do it without sacrificing 40 hours
yeah, man.
detailing. You can do it.
The
You can
most
just
the most sophisticated, the most complex picture, or of the conveying the pictures or depicting, it's based on the very basic principles. So we are taking up all of them, and we are trying to show you as much as we can today. So we hope it's helpful for you. And don't forget about the basics. No matter how much you are, pro, it's like all about the basics every time. Sometimes it's just like autopilot. It's automatically you think about it, but sometimes you can just think, oh, okay, I will do a very basic one, and the basic composition with some interesting shot from more advanced maybe knowledge, it just create a much more interesting picture. So yeah, don't forget about the basics.
Definitely. Sometimes going back and actually reviewing your rediscovering when you feel like, oh yeah, I wrapped my head around all that basic stuff, and I can move on. And for example, you feel comfortable, and you will go back. You will discover so many new things that you missed during your education period.
Yeah,
it's always cool to supplement your exactly like you see in Darek's painting. If you will just shrink it down, Darek, totally shrink it down to something really small, if you can.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just try switching on and off. See, here details doesn't matter at all. It's what's the look, what's the feeling you get in this stage, and yeah, you can, instead of detailing one piece, for example, for me, at the beginning when I was starting out, I was like, why the hell would I sacrifice 3 hours for painting just thumbnails? If I can just go with the first one, because I'm sure this one works. And no, this is actually a really bad approach, because you tend to not see, what are the possibilities of the scene? How can you push it further? How can you make it better? So sometimes sacrificing this first couple of hours just to research your camera angle, camera view, general shape design, general value composition, it will save you so much trouble later on, because there's nothing worse than the frustration you get after 30 hours of detailing.
Yeah.
And then you discover, oh shit, this doesn't work. Doesn't fucking work. What am I doing now? Just scrap it? No, I love it too much. So what? Post it? No, because it's too bad. So what? Just fucking kill yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's all about also the shape language. Sometimes you can wondering, guys, why a lot of pros doing tons of the sketches and sometimes post it. It's all about keeping it fresh and keeping the basics like floating in our blood. It has to be automatically, it has to be like an autopilot for yourself. So every of us just doing that kind of the thumbnails sometimes, because we still want to have it inside, inside of our mind. We don't want to, forget about the basic stuff. So yeah, it's all about the shapes, all about the shape language. And if you are doing better composition, just don't bother about the rendering. It all comes with practice. It all comes with the time. So I at the beginning I also thought, but when I creating like a polished picture, I will be the best, the best fucking motherfucker. But it's not like this. it's like I just learned that I need to work out about at my compositions at the beginning, and then when I fixed my point of view, when I did more compositions, I became better with compositions. I also then could start with more rendering style, with more refined words, and this is the right way, because you can have a lot of amazing rendering, but if your picture is not well composed, it's like, okay, it's beautiful picture, but it just not convincing to the viewer. So don't forget about it.
That's super important, man.
Okay.
Yeah, and see, like sometimes our overpaintings will kind of be boring to you. It's because it's just the same stuff over and over again, which doesn't work. So you may have great ideas, great concepts, but without ability to execute it, there's no way you'll get a job. So if you just try focusing more on basics, just go back to it. It will only pay off. Sometimes you will need more time to wrap your head around these things, but it will be worth it. All right, so this is just a quick tip for me because I did these kind of paintings and I know what's the inspiration. So Mateusz Kacik, this is the painting from this awesome guy, and it's based on the Shiny Safari tutorial series, which is all about sexy planar painting. And this is pretty sexy, right? Works great. Looks awesome. Just a couple of tricks. Like I love the brush strokes, like it flows, and the hues and the colors and stuff. But when I saw the process. Okay, so the first stage is shape design, right? Figuring the shapes, then the light pattern, then the underpainting, which is actually an opposite color of what you want to have here. So you get the juice from underneath later on. So yeah, that's what I feel is not used here. Mateusz spent this whole time painting this underpainting, right? This thing here, and he didn't use it here. Somewhere, like 2 pixels here, but it will be so much juicier and so much. You can get some violets here. Something's happening, but I would use way more. Maybe try to make it even more vivid and even more crazy, and look up Jake Jones and see how he's doing this kind of when he leaves that stuff up. Also for the light pattern, whereas these sweeps are pretty cool. This is like right. It's really sweepy and kind of nice, and then you get a little bit more clown shapes, like this. It's like it's like this, right? Whereas here you got like like a fucking samurai with a cutting, just cutting shit out like a boss. It's really awesome. I like this shape here. But then you go like and it doesn't help. It doesn't describe perspective. So you can actually, I don't know, make it, something more swoopier that will help the perspective. That will help to sell the perspective, so it may point into the vanishing point more. I don't know, you have to experiment with that, but this is what I found. Maybe space between this and this doesn't really that well. So yeah, again, perspective issues. See, it's all about it. Like this rock, for me, this red rock doesn't really sit on the ground. It floats because it lacks shadow or something darker here, or maybe some elements that will interrupt the really clean shape here. And still, the perspective, I don't think it's 4K. It should be something more like this. Yeah. So there's going back to super early stage. Yeah, so that's it. If you are looking for a way to paint like this, there's a really great tutorial series. We'll be posting it. That's a tutorial series from Shadi. We'll be posting it to our Level Up event page now. So yeah, that's my quick tip. Great work on brushwork. Great work on the colors as well. Yeah, it reads really nicely. So yeah, I love this rock. It's really cool. It's really awesome. Man, this overpainting, right? It's really tiring, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe just I have another one that I want to start with, but I think it's about time to do it. You see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the work by someone who is calling himself like Createch, and what is really striking my eyes in this one is the colors, is the gradations, is the values, and everything is almost black on this one. It just gives you a very dirty dirty effect. I didn't search for any references on this one. I think that we can go ahead without it. So maybe let's get rid of this I don't know, vertical shapes that are kind of confusing. Let's make it more structured. I will just cut it from the scene and then paint over. It will be much easier. Cut. So basically, I want to fix these shapes. You can also use some textures on it, but first you need to be sure that the value structure on this one is the right, is accurate. Let me find a good color for it. This one.
Jonas is gone.
Yeah, he's probably drunk already.
Yeah. That's industry workshop thing.
So I'm just fixing the shapes, some rocks, some texture. Someone asked us how to paint good rocks. It's kind of difficult question because my answer is if you feel that you suck at something, you just need some more refinement in it. You just need to learn it, and the only way to do it is just observe master painters that were doing a lot of beautiful stuff with rocks, with mountains in the past. You can easily find it on Google or so, and definitely just do some live studies. Just go out and maybe go on some hills, or if you have some around some mountains. If not, you can just still do the studies from the Google, just to know the shape, just to know how the rocks are created, how are they have a lot of different things, like some cuts, some pop out elements. It's not like every mountain is the same. It's like it's quite difficult to even tell you how to do it. You just need to have it with practice. It's all about the practice, basically. But regarding painting very difficult stuff, which is no doubt the rocks, the mountains, the structure of the rocks it's definitely about the practice and how much you've painted it in your life. It's like you can sometimes improvise with colors, with the shapes, and you can have the right strokes on it. It just the viewer will immediately see it's like oh, he's painting a mountain, he's painting a rock. So it's all about the how much you've made it in your life. It's not about that everyone will tell you how to do it. It's just impossible. So yeah, go ahead, just do some shots, or with your camera or not, or just go around with on the Google. You can also go on the Flickr. There's tons of amazing photos of of the rocks, of the different structures of the mountains. It's just huge database of a lot of references. It's only way of you and the painting them. You can also use only textures, and you can still improvise it very well, that you are doing very rocks. But you need to be aware of the value structure on it, the colors, that everyone, because if you use the textures and you don't have the basic knowledge, it just won't lead you to the right place, right? It will be easily seen that something is not right with the mountain. So yeah, the practice, the research, the references gathering, it's all counts. So yeah.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, Flickr is a great resource besides Google Images. Sometimes Google doesn't really count in the images from Flickr. So actually, when you are struggling to look for a specific thing through Google Images, try Flickr.
Yeah.
It's a great research for that. Really great. So let me know when you're done with yours.
Yeah, right now I'm just cleaning out that very dark and dirty value structure with some color information, with some lighting effects, because bounced light from the sky is easily seen in the shadows of the rocks. With practice, you are able to do it, without the references. To be fair, you don't need to just research a lot when you did it, like 20 times in your life or even more for some client work or something like this. And yeah, it's basically about the values right now, because I'm cleaning out them. You can see the difference already, I hope. Yeah, I still think that there is a lot of dirtiness in the parts of the shadows. Something like this. These are with that kind of the shoots with sun, with the sunlight, and the rocky parts, especially. There were a lot of amazing pieces in the digital period, that from the guys like Matthias Verhasselt, like Maciej, the other guys, and sometimes it's like they accurately use their references or their observations, and you easily are able to incorporate the knowledge you get from only viewing or watching their works to your pictures. So for this shot, it's kind of maybe it's not like this, but I could say it's kind of cliche colors.
Yeah.
Because I bet that every of more known artists that kind of shot with sunlight and with some rock structure on it, and it's like we have it on our mind at some point, and we are more aware of it, how to convey that kind of the shots on our own without any references. But it's definitely obviously that's just definitely better if you are aware of it, if you are aware why the colors on this scene are like this and not another ones. So yeah, this observation from the nature, observation from other artists, how they depict that kind of scenes, it can help a lot. It can help you, bring you to the next level of, understanding the nature, the objects, and everything. So yeah, I can just polish it like for more hours without the reference. I can also gather some reference for it, make some more interesting shapes, but it's not a point on this one. It's all about the nature conditions with the relation between the colors in the shadow that are, of course, based on the light source, on the play. I don't know how to call it. It's like, let's say that's the sky that's around the scene. It's in the shadow. It's kind of gray or blue because it just rely on the colors from the sky, and it can be seen in some parts. Some hints, just the hints from the sky. So yeah, it's very basic knowledge, but when you did like more than 10 pictures in this kind of the lighting, it's
Yeah.
getting quite obvious for you, and you can do it without any reference, like I'm trying to do right now. So yeah, it's just my 2 cents about it.
Okie dokie, okie dokie. What should we get?
Yep.
So we got a portrait painting from Louis Haller, and I think this will be the last overpainting for today. We are almost 2 hours in, so let me go through that. And that was done without reference, and yeah, I think that's awesome. Without reference, that's really awesome. And the proportions are there, and that's the most important thing. Light isn't that correct. Mostly values are way too contrasty and stuff. So let me actually try fixing it. First, I'm just trying to relate it, get rid of the. I just started painting over. Get rid of the patchy, hard shadows and the weird specular highlights and stuff. So I'm just trying to paint over. Try these areas to be a little bit more less line arty, if you know what I mean. Like less lines, more shapes. Like see how this was just like this. It had all sorts of lines around the pictures. Like it's still a process of development. Your paint style, basically. Here, you're painting with lines. This is a line. This is a line. This is a line. It will make it flatter. I know what you meant by this, like reflected line on a glossy surface. Of course, here the surface isn't really that. It's not doing this. It's more of a really smooth transition for this part, and it actually has a hard edge somewhere here, where the dental sphere connects to the rest of the face. And yeah, this is looking even more flat for me, but I'm trying to relate it, actually getting rid of the lines like see around the eyes, all around the eyes. If you look at master paintings, you'll see that there's no so much focus around. Sometimes it's even lost, the edge of the eyes, and it's not that sharp overall. But of course, it's a matter of style. But see how black it is. I'm not going into the colors right now, but just trying to break up these really sterile shapes and. See, this doesn't wrap around the eye. It should wrap around the eye. Actually, you would get eyelashes somewhere here, not this high. And so it's a matter of playing back and forth. See this sharp line here makes it all flatter. I will try some variation. Look up how the brows are really working, and where are the softer parts, where are the harder parts. I find it really easy to kind of do the hard part here, and how it really fades off and kind of curves around, so it's not even throughout. Yeah, there's tons of stuff that I can do with it, and it's time. So see, like left, right, and if you go for really kind of soft look, you can try going with some really sharp lights. It's really cool to introduce those on top of the, for example, soft surface. It will kind of look more. Well, if you look at monster paintings, they actually, like the whole face didn't even have a hard edge. It looks like all kind of blurred out. But then just a couple of edges like this, just sharp edge here, suddenly made it look so real and painterly at the same time. Sharp edge under the eyelash. And a couple of that type of cuts make it much more like there's a tension between muscles, and yeah, it's hard to talk at the same time. I would make that bridge recede a little bit. This isn't right. I see it's a matter of painting it over slowly. It fades off, and there's only hard edge here. And here it can fade off as well. It doesn't have to be that bright. That's that sharp edge. It's too bright here. For me, the most important thing in the portrait painting is sense of light. Like it doesn't look good right now. It's only because the overall picture is so bright and so vivid. You don't have that much build up to the face. It's like blue, white, and yellow, and there's not so much you can do to get this focal point. So I would totally darken that. Blonde hair aren't that white in this type of light. So maybe try dimming it off. Actually, I would just go in and just levels, just trim it way down, and and get my face from the shadows. So I actually get better focus in these parts, and just get it out of the light, make it build up. That can actually serve the side of the light. Where does it come from? And lit your hair accordingly. If you have problems painting hair, make sure you think of it as not just single hair strokes. Think of it more as ribbons, for example. Just a ribbon, for example, it goes like this, it turns over, do like this, right? And lit it accordingly. It has a shadow part and the light part, so you have to be aware of that. It's just a form like any other.
Yeah, it looks much more natural right now.
Actually, I may destroy the overall effect that the person was going for, because I get the light it's getting from this direction. So I made it more flat, but it was only to show, maybe it needs more subtle kind of overpainting just to fit.
It was somehow overexposed in some part, like too contrasty with the highlights, and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the colors are just not.
Dirty.
Yeah, they're dirty. Why they're dirty? Try
Yeah, because
self-lightening.
they have no any transition. They're smooth transition that you added later. So
Yeah, exactly. For example, if you have that kind of face and it's still dirty, just go with soft light. Sample the color you have. Just kind of pull nicely enrich your
yeah, because that kind of the division between the difference between the light and the shadow. So very contrasty kind of effect that it was in the previous version, like in the beginning. You can easily see in some kind of the fashion magazines because they have a lot of Photoshop retouches. And sometimes it's also about the studio lighting, but in natural way of natural conditions, it's just impossible to get that kind of very contrast transition, very like artificial ones. But these are the more natural that Wojtek is doing right now, because yeah, it's just not it
I'm
just
just looking. Let's see how much dark values aren't used at all here.
yeah.
Like this dark is you can use all of that to create your contrast. You can just do it this way. It's way too saturated now, right? But you can at least use darks. See, that's the black here. This is black. You don't have to go all the way, but this is like the most you can get out of it, and then just crush the contrast and start painting on top, so you can get the whole spectrum of your values in there. This is it's a middle value gray, so a bit lighter. It doesn't get darker than that kind of gray. Yeah, just
Yeah.
little tricks like that. Paint from masters. That's always good tip. Look up Sergeant Zorn, Soroya. Awesome painters. Just study how they painted stuff, and it's pretty minimal what they did. Couple strokes, highlight, done. Yeah, sometimes it works as easy as. Oh yeah, but it's actually way more difficult to extract a simplification from something as complex as human figure. So yeah, I think that's it for today, guys. If you enjoy what we are doing, a little bit more sloppier today because our not native, but still, the best English speaker, Jonas, wasn't here. So we tried to cover all of this, what we wanted to say to you today in Polish English. And thanks to Matthias for joining. If you are enjoying what we are doing, please subscribe to our channel. And we will do the same next week.
Question about our art trip. So we don't have any specifics yet for you guys, but because we have, we are all working on some projects, and it's like, we are stick to the deadlines and to the dates, to the times. But we'll definitely will inform you very soon about it, because I think we are almost, closing up the applications right now. We had received a lot of them. We will review them, and we decide what to do next, what place we choose, and we will do our best to make for you as the best experience as you can experience. So yeah, just cross your fingers and stay tuned for more information about it. Yeah, for now I think it's done. The subjects that we covered. Maybe we will try to do more that kind of traditional sessions soon, but we have some upcoming guests, and we bet that you don't regret about them. So yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Thanks, Wojtek, and I think we can just wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah. See you next week, guys, with our awesome guests, and
yeah.
Tell about us to your friends. If you have art friend that is struggling, that wants to get a job, or just wants to learn about painting, concept art, and modeling, whatever, just send them a link to our channel, and just one person, yeah, doesn't hurt much, and will help us a lot. And all right, see you guys next week. Cheers.
Bye bye. Heya.